Family governance is a structured set of guidelines that a family decides to adopt in order to improve communication, participation, and decision-making regarding the private and/or professional wealth that it holds. It also aims to ensure the preservation of the family heritage over the long term by preparing the stages of a transfer of wealth to future generations. Family governance is often associated with corporate governance. However, it can be distinguished by its broader scope since it encompasses concerns related to the conservation of the family unity, the prevention of internal conflicts, the protection of the family wealth, and its development in order to avoid its attrition over time.
The establishment of family governance involves, first and foremost, the creation of a family council that meets to define the main objectives to be achieved. This body will then be responsible for ensuring that all objectives are properly applied for all members of the family circle affected. This also involves the drafting of a family charter, the real backbone of the project, which sets out the operating rules of this governance and will in principle be drawn by the family council. It is then necessary to plan in advance the mechanism for organizing regular family meetings and social events, allowing each member of the family circle to meet and be informed of the management decisions that have been made. Generally, the family council will entrust some of these tasks and responsibilities to a family office, which is a private financial structure responsible for managing the family wealth and providing personalized and holistic advice. All wealthy families that hold assets in common have an interest in establishing a family governance, not just those that have a business or industrial empire to run. This implies an objective, or sometimes the necessity, of working together over the long term to preserve and pass on wealth.
The establishment of family governance is all the more useful when the assets to be managed are complex and/or the family circle involved is extensive. A family with very liquid assets, for example, or a small number of heirs, does not necessarily have an interest in adopting such a highly regulated and sometimes restrictive operating system. They are diverse: legal, tax, accounting, and financial. But the essential quality is above all to be able to create a climate of trust with complete neutrality among family members, which requires excellent listening skills and a real capacity for empathy to better understand the family's story, its values, its functioning, the challenges involved, etc.
This analytical work can be made more complex in the presence of a family that is particularly international, dispersed or recomposed, and it can be much more arduous when there are, for example, internal tensions that are apparently unsurmountable. The establishment of family governance will have a very significant and often very positive impact on inter-family relationships, since it involves coming together, talking and listening to one another, and above all, sharing one another's values, expectations, and fears. Good family governance will therefore be the result of listening, dialogue, and compromise adopted by everyone and taking into account the interest of all.
Finally, the generation that constituted the wealth is often more inclined to entrust its management to subsequent generations once the family charter has been put in place, since it has been defined by all for all. This creates a climate of mutual trust. Good family governance makes it possible, among other things, to ensure the preservation or even growth of the family's wealth over the long term, encourage the unity of the family members, preventing internal conflicts, and even uniting them on joint projects.
Highlight the talents of certain family members who are more capable than others, but without excluding those who are not chosen. And finally, involve and prepare future generations for strategic challenges in order to ensure the long-term future of family wealth.